everybody to another Lead with Love interview. And I'm here today with the beautiful and radiant Mahima. I am absolutely over the moon that she said yes to joining us for this event. Mahima and I met a few years back. Neither of us can fully recall how the magic happened, but when we connected on our first virtual face-to-face, the sparks flew on both sides and we were like, oh, this is amazing. And we did many years ago when I had my business coaching business at that time, and in that iteration of it, we did a wonderful webinar together, and I had amazing feedback from my community that everybody loved Mahima as much as I did.
That's so sweet.
And so, of course, when I thought, ooh, who would be a beautiful love expert for me for this event, I thought of Mahima. I asked her, and she said yes. And here we are. And before I dive in with Mahima, I want to share her bio with you so you know a little bit more about her. So Mahima is Europe's #1 self-mastery mentor, mindset trainer, international best-selling author, and award-winning speaker and founder of the Mahima Mindset. She has spoken at the Harvard Club of Boston in July 2018. And in 2017, she got to share the stage with Sir Richard Branson at a business development event in Singapore. She has also had the privilege to share the stage with other thought leaders like Les Brown, Kevin Harrington, Lisa Nichols, Vishen Lakhiani, and Kane and Alessia Minkus. Mahima has done over 10,000 hours of meditation practice, so safe to say she's a meditation rock star. and to date has helped transform the lives of almost 20,000 people with her unique creations, the Inner Peace Formula, and the Own Your Superstar multi-award-winning training. Since 1997, Mahima and her team have developed a world-class personal growth academy, which evolved into what is known today as the Mahima Mindset. The Mahima Mindset helps people find and live their higher purpose, and I'm sure that's connected to love. So hello, Mahima.
Hello, gorgeous angel. Oh my God, that was... I didn't know you were going to read the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
We have to make sure everybody knows how wonderful you are.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for this warm welcome. I do recall us meeting and me just falling in love with you from the moment we met. I just thought, what a gorgeous, gorgeous human being. And so I feel privileged and honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me to share. And I'm excited.
Me too. I'm very excited to dive in. And my first question for you, and then I love to ask this at the beginning of all the interviews, is what does leading with love mean to you, Mahima?
Leading with love means to me being authentic, being vulnerable, being somebody that works on yourself and understands your brilliance, your light, your beauty, but also understands your shadow, your what's not right in us, right? Like face ourselves, like be able to know all aspects of yourself and own them. Leading with love is about showing up in, yes, I have my brilliance, I can shine my light, and I'm powerful and beautiful, but I also am vulnerable, and I'm a human, and I'm not perfect, and I'm not afraid to show my imperfections, because that's part of connecting with, you know, those people that you want to inspire and motivate. So that's leading with love. It's knowing yourself in depth. For me, leading with love is knowing your soul, being able to connect to your soul and your spirit and your beauty and light, and also allow yourself to radiate that out into the world. So I could go on and on about this because love is the foundation of my 7-step formula, which is my success formula. It's a formula I teach my students. It's a formula I use on a daily basis to enlighten myself and to keep moving forward and thriving. So I have that, it's called the Own Your Superstar formula. And the first foundational piece is self-love. It's a leadership training. Okay. It's a leadership training that inspires people to really know themselves and face who they are. So that's for me leading with love. It is the foundation of everything we're going to do in our lives. Yes.
That's gorgeous. And you know, I over the many years of coaching in my life, I know that self-love is sometimes the hardest thing to do. We are so good at loving other people, and I always
Yes.
say that, you know, when you ask people who do you love the most, everybody would name another person, or maybe even their pet or something, but very few people would say, oh, I love myself the most, because that
Yes.
would seem almost like the wrong thing to say or to do. So
Absolutely.
how can we shift that and actually make self-love a priority and something that's nurturing for ourselves and everybody we come in contact with?
Well, the only way I could have done it was having mentors and a tribe that taught me that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole world is pointing you to look externally for gratification, for love, for peace, for joy. They, you know, it's all about what do you have, as opposed to who are you, right? Who are you? That's like, you know, that's where the real joy and love comes from. But in this world, we're taught it's about what you have. If you have the right education, if you have the beautiful husband, if you got the, you know, the children, if you got the house on the lake, and you know, all of these things that we aspire to have, that we want to make us feel a certain way, when really we're enough. Like without any of those things, you can feel whole, complete, and deeply joyful and happy. So I find that if you are looking to up level your self-love game, you will need a tribe and a coach or mentor, guide, however you want to call it, somebody that can help nurture this idea that it's okay to love yourself first. It's okay to say, I'm going to put my health first. Yeah, I'm going to put my well-being first, because when I'm good, everything else in my life is good.
Yeah.
Everyone else in my life is going to thrive when I am at my best. But we are taught to believe that it's selfish, it's big-headed. If you say I love myself, you know, like I remember growing up and having hearing as a kind of berating from my elders, right? My grandparent, my aunts, and who do you think you are? You know, you love yourself too much. You have a big head, right? So you know, when you so if you had confidence, right, you were told that that's something that's not good. So I think, you know, to rewire your brain and your, you know, the belief system to actually go, no, it's not big-headed to love myself. Okay, it is not, you know, like wrong to take care of myself and set my boundaries and borders. You need support. Yeah, because the default setting is forget about yourself and just, you know, put everyone else first, whether it's children, husband, bosses, you know, whoever. Everybody else goes, you know, above you. And then that's why we have the rise of burnout, breakdowns, and all, you know, suicides, all of the negative things that we see in the world that's rising. Yeah, especially in highly educated societies, right, where you know, one would say you have everything you need to actually be strong and feel really great, and yet we are, you know, our tendency for depression and breakdown and all of that, burnouts are going up. So there's definitely an issue that we need to look at, and I think it's all about finding the right people to help you. That was certainly in my case. I didn't make it here on my own. I didn't become a self-love, self-mastery mentor on my own. It's the people that have helped me along the way. It's the communities that I've been a part of that have really solidified a new understanding of self that allowed me to thrive and to be able to literally change the whole course of my life. Yeah.
That's gorgeous. And you know, sometimes it's true, we need the helping hand. Like, you wouldn't climb Mount Everest by yourself. You need a Sherpa to make sure you make it to the top. And we need to look for the right Sherpas. And
Absolutely.
I know that a way for us also to, you know, not only have the Sherpa on the outside, but also to kind of connect to our inner Sherpa, is you teach so much about meditation. Maybe you can share a little bit about what meditation can do for us and maybe easy ways to incorporate that magic into our lives.
Okay, so one thing that I want to say about self-development, it's not necessarily easy, but it's worth it.
Yes.
Okay, so you know when people say, "Oh, I want it to be easy," you can't pop a pill and feel better like this, like that. Then you go to a psychiatrist if you're looking for something like that, right? But if you want to stay off meds and really work on yourself, then the beginning is going to be challenging, like every endeavor that you start out. Yeah, so I don't know how to run like a marathon or something. So I couldn't just get off where I am now and start jogging and run a
Oh, I think you just,
manage,
oh,
right?
you're back. Sorry, can you just say that again? You just froze for a sec. Can you just say
Okay.
it again? So
Yes,
it
yes.
was, you just stopped at, you couldn't run a marathon right now, and then I lost you for a sec, but you're back.
Yeah, I was like, you need to train.
Yeah.
You basically need to train. So I think people that, you know, sort of preach that, oh, it's easy, like you can use simple techniques consistently and you will get results. So it doesn't need to be necessarily hard, but it's like everything you want to accomplish in life, it is challenging to stay on course
Yes.
until you build the muscle. So it's like if you want to lose weight, you know, if you eat healthy for 3 or 4 days, that's not going to help you, right? Even if you eat healthy for 2 weeks, that's not going to help you either, right? Even if you did it for 3 months, like yeah, you'll go far, but if you really want to have a lifestyle change, it's going to need to go beyond those 3 months. Yeah, so you don't just put on all that stuff back on again. It's a life change. So it's going to take whatever time it takes, and you just need to commit to simple acts of disruption. Yeah, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So I believe that meditation is one of the most powerful technologies for self-awareness, self-love, inner peace, joy, and seeing more beauty in the world, right? So, you know, I'm actually giving away a very, very nice, let's say, Kickstarter program to get into the muscle of building a new pathway to understanding the power of connecting to yourself in stillness. So that's something you asked me to do. It's called the 7 Days Reprogram Your Mind. So this is going to help people to get started. And what I would recommend is you do those 7 days over and over and over again. So not just go through it once, just keep on doing it. And it's got only 5 minutes of meditation in it. And then the other part is like between let's say 10 minutes of what I call reprogramming the mind. So giving you new impulses and ideas. And then you have these 5 minutes where you just get to sit and breathe. And it's a very powerful program. It's actually been featured on Vishen Lekhani's Omvana app, right? So I highly recommend anyone who's listening to this and you feel like, you know, even if you've already done a lot of meditation, try this. Yeah, because really it's going to get you to fully understand. And understanding is everything. You know, when people say, I can't meditate, like I'm like, can you breathe? Yes. Okay. Are you available to respect yourself? Yes. Are you available to listen to yourself? Are you available to look at yourself, to feel yourself? Because that's all it is. It's just instead of focusing on what other people are doing, other people are feeling, and what other people are saying, meditation is just, what am I feeling? What am I doing? What's happening in here? So just giving yourself a moment to get to know yourself on a deeper level through giving yourself attention. That's all it is. Yeah. Attention and self-love, respect, love, I'm available, I'm ready to listen to you, I'm ready to feel you, I'm ready to acknowledge what is happening inside of yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's so beautifully put, because uh, I agree with you. Meditation is an invitation to inner presence, just to be
Yes.
present with whatever is. And I think sometimes, especially if what is a maybe a bit emotionally complicated for us, then the tendency is I want to distract myself, or not feel this, because it can be overwhelming. But I think over time, and this is where probably your consistency muscle comes in, is over time we can learn that our fears and our panic and our pain does not kill us when we sit with it. Actually, it creates a lot of space and a lot of healing potential, right?
Absolutely. And that's the thing that, you know, that I teach this idea because that's what I was taught, that the ego mind is just a small part of who you truly are. So think about this. You came into this world as, you can call it spirit, or, you know, sperm egg got together, something started growing, and now there is, you know, you were given birth to, you started to grow, and now there's a part of you. You can call it your consciousness, your awareness, your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to call that, that will at one point leave this body. So we've witnessed it. We're witnessing it now in the world. There's people leaving their body every second, or I don't know how many people are leaving their body. So something leaves, right? So something came into this world and something will leave this world. So everything in between is a game, right? So you came into this world with nothing except your energy, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to leave this world with nothing. So once you start to understand who you truly are in a more deep and profound way, you can start to liberate yourself from all the negative focus, right? All the negative focus comes from misunderstanding who you truly are, right? So if you believe that you're your body and nothing else, right, then you're very identified with everything attached to this body. So this is my husband, this is my car, this is my money, this is my job, and these, all these things feel very important, and you get very emotional about all of this stuff, right? Now, if you think about my concept of you came into this world with nothing and you're going to leave with nothing, and that can happen at any second. So it means that this present moment is a gift.
Yes.
Now you can bring your focus back to the truth. I am here in this moment, and everything around me does not belong to me. It actually doesn't belong to me. It's just like I'm a visitor. This body, even this body, is, I'm temporarily living in this body. Yeah, I'm not going to be in this body forever. This is just like a temporary vehicle that I've literally borrowed. Right? So that's when you start to understand who you are, and you can start letting go and having a little bit more distance. So meditation is all about starting to understand and giving yourself the ability to understand who you truly are. And through that understanding, you're able to create some distance from that ego mind that's running the story of pain and suffering. Now, I must tell you, I mean, if they would teach this stuff in school, like that's where the fundamental shift happens, I believe, that when we train people to think and believe that they are their thoughts,
Yes.
right? And we don't train them how to use their thoughts to create their reality, or use their emotions to really understand like what's happening with you emotionally, and how do you use all of these emotions in a positive way. So we don't have the training, we've got mind training, and that's the problem, right? So I hope I didn't go too deep into
No,
the
no, this is
story there.
perfect. This is what the summit is all about, is going down the rabbit hole.
Okay, good, good.
No, I love that. And I mean, outside of meditation, or maybe through meditation, I don't know, how would you say that you access really your heart and your intuitive knowing? Like when you want to make decisions or when you want to feel something out, how do you do that? What's your process?
Okay, so my process is to stop. Stop. Yeah, we need to become quiet enough to do what I call deep listening. Your soul speaks through your heart. Okay, so your heart's voice and in your intuition is the voice of your soul. Your intuition is the voice of your soul. So, but if you're too noisy, because there's a lot of thoughts, there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of things going on, you can't hear. So the first thing we need to do is become quiet enough to receive. Yeah, a lot of us in the giving mode, we think that that's the ultimate place. Let me give you my love. Let me give you this. Let me give that. Let me do this, right? But the highest form of evolution is to be in the receiving mode. Yeah, to be able to receive love, to receive beauty, to receive opportunities, to receive the voice of your intuition, to receive, you know, the direction and guidance from your intuition. So this is really a reverse of what we've been taught, right? So I stop when I really want to get in touch with what am I, you know, what's my intuition telling me needs to be happening. I need to become super quiet. And that can mean turning off mobile devices. That can mean not working, going really to a quiet place, whether it's for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, whatever you need to become quiet enough to really understand and listen to yourself, right? Obviously, when you do this on a daily basis, when you become more quiet on a daily basis, then you maintain a level of connectedness to your heart and to your intuition. But as soon as you find that you're very noisy, and that can be seen by the fact that you feel any kind of, let's say, intense negative emotions, is like we've gone away from our center. Right? So we need to come back to the center, come back to stillness, come back to calm. Very easy way is through the breath, right? As soon as you need to become more quiet, you need to deep breathe. Yeah, I just teach a very simple breath technique because I think if you get too much in your head with breathe here, breathe through that, then you're going again into a story. So for me, it's just deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And just keep breathing through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. I love to put my left hand on my chest, right hand on my lower belly, yeah, below your belly button. This is kind of like a self-love position, yes. Yeah, and you can just close your eyes, right hand's on your lower belly, left hand is in the middle of your chest, activating more presence, and just breathe. And then you can also just use gratitude. Gratitude is very powerful, bringing you back into the moment.
Yes.
Because it allows you to honor yourself and what's actually happening in the here and now. So if you can just look around you and find anything to be grateful for, right? And it can be as simple as, I am grateful to have fresh drinking water. I'm grateful to have a bed to sleep in tonight. I'm grateful for just, you know, look around you and just bring yourself back to gratitude, to a slow breath. And that brings me back immediately to my center, back to my heart, back to quiet. So, you know, those are the like small tricks you can use, just yes. Simply breathing, you know, and using gratitude. And then another thing you can do is ask the question, who am I? Who am I? Because the question, who am I, reminds you of your temporary journey on this planet. Okay? When you start to understand, I'm not my name, I'm not my story. I'm not my possessions. I'm not my job. I'm not my car. I'm the soul spirit that's living in this body. So the who am I question brings you back to the truth, which is, you know, I actually came into this world with nothing, and I'm going to leave with nothing. So this is all a game. And how do I want to play that game? Yeah. So I think it's a good point for me to mention that we're actually creating our own reality through our belief systems, through what we therefore think, feel, and what those thoughts and feelings cause us to do, actions, right? So you're not just living in a random world of, oh, how is this happening to me? You've made decisions that have led you to this point.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
in charge of your decisions. Like, I can choose right now to drink this glass of water, yeah, or I can drink this glass of vodka.
Yeah.
That's a choice I'm making. And obviously, these two choices are going to have very different outcomes.
Yeah. I would imagine so. Cheers, either way.
Yeah, and we're making those decisions in our daily life.
Yes.
Yeah, by who we decide to hang out with, where we decide to work, what we, who we let into our inner circle. So many of those decisions are causing an experience of your time here on planet Earth. Right. And we might look at anyone out there and go, but Mahima, what about all those people that don't have running water, that don't have all of this, that don't have all of that? I'm sorry, they're humans and they're still making decisions. Right? Yes, they are in challenging situations, but they still make decisions every day. And those decisions will affect the course of what's happening, right? So if we can help people to understand and take responsibility, get out of victim mindset, right? Like, how can I influence my life? I might not be able to change this or influence that, but I can influence how I show up, right? I can influence who I am. I can influence my spirit, my soul, and what kind of a person I am, right? And so if we could, teach that, and that's one of my, visions, is to be able to take this work and really work with people who don't feel like they have a lot of choices, right? Who don't feel like they have a lot of opportunities, that feel like they are in that victim mindset of, life has given me lemons and I don't know what to do, right? And I think giving people the opportunity to see, like I did, and I can tell my own story. I
Yes.
shouldn't be here. Yeah, I shouldn't be, staying at, right now I'm staying at the Khmer Grand Hotel, right? In Zurich, one of apparently the best cities to live in the world. I was brought up in Africa in poverty mindset. My great grandmother lived in a hut without running water or electricity. My grandfather was brought up in that hut, and he decided to break free and leave the village, right? Where he then met my grandmother in South Africa. And the legend goes, the story goes, that he walked all the way from Zimbabwe to South Africa, Cape Town. Now, this is a long way. I need to look how many thousands of kilometers that is. But that's the story, that he actually walked out of his village and walked all the way down to the African coast, where he met my grandmother, right? They got together, created my mom, returned back to the village, right? The idea that my mother, in her early years was kind of living, in the village. And then, obviously they made their own home and they got out of that situation, right? But just to understand where I've come from, I was also brought up in apartheid, which is it's basically a hate culture where they separate people and say, you're black, you're white, you're Indian, you're this, you're that, and you can't live together. And they pit you against each other. Yeah. So everybody hates on each other. And that's what I was brought up in. So as a young child, that's what I kind of learned. So all of these things, the poverty, the hate culture, it's all in there, stored inside. And part of this self-love, self-healing process is to understand what limiting beliefs have been running and driving your life, so that they don't keep running and driving your life into situations that you don't want to be in. Yeah. So you get out of victim mindset and you understand, I can transform my life. So I was, fortunate enough to meet teachers when I was 22 years old that showed me the power that I had inside and how that power could actually create a different life. So one of the first decisions I made after my kind of like awakening was, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to have a 9-to-5 job. Freedom is one of my highest values. So I just took that freedom, like I want to be free. I want to do what I want, when I want, with whom I want. I want to travel around the world. I want to do whatever I feel like. And that decision was already made in that young Mahima. I'm 49 now, and that decision I already made back then. And through listening to my heart and stay connected to my power and myself, I've been able to make decisions that have continued to unfold my life into the life that it is right now. Yeah, which is being, best-selling author, award-winning trainer, training all over the world, taking my trainings, and being in a powerful relationship over 20 years. We just celebrated 20 years of wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is all what's possible when you understand that you can change your destiny through how you think, feel, and the actions you take.
Yes, that is so, so powerful. And I'm so glad you shared also your personal journey there, because sometimes, of course, it's like, oh, it's easy for you to say that because it's kind of the masterpiece is now painted.
Yes. Yes.
But everything that goes into that masterpiece was messy and the paint was all over
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it still gets messy because that's life. You don't want messy, move to another planet.
Yes.
Yeah, move to another planet.
You paint and expand your masterpiece as you go, right? You want different things, you want different sceneries on your masterpiece.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. We don't teach the messy side of success. Yeah, we just see the oh, there they are and they're doing all these wonderful things. And with social media, it feeds that story, right? Because everybody's like, let me teach you how to make, this and do that, and it's so easy and all of this stuff, right? So everyone looks like they're having like an easy, fast time to this and that and the other, right? But even all of those people, if you hear their stories, you'll hear failures, you'll hear disappointing moments, you'll hear that there was a pathway to that success, which was messy. Yeah. And so it sounds like here it's also easy, but it's never easy, but it's worth it. It's worth to do this work. Yeah. Because you're gonna live anyway. Why not live the best life you can live?
Absolutely. And maybe you can share a story perhaps where you were presented with an incident or circumstances that would have maybe warranted at first glance a fear-based response, and you shifted it into a love response, and you shifted maybe out of victim mindset into empowerment. Maybe you have something that you can share.
I do have a story because it's connected to love. I want to share a personal story because I think, when people see my husband and I together, I know that we're very inspiring for people, because they tell us all the time, like, oh my God, you guys are an amazing couple. You're holding such a beautiful space for each other. And I think relationships are the place where we're most tender and most vulnerable to our victim mindset and our inability to be unconditional in our love, right? So it's the place where we can get, we like messy divorces, messy separations, like thinking back of ex-boyfriends with not good feelings, and all of that messiness and yuckiness, right? So I think that, so there I want to give my example. So as we lead with love, I think forgiveness is one of the biggest energies that really show that you are a leader in love. Because when somebody does something that wasn't nice, did hurt like hell, you can either hold on and hold that person like to like, what a horrible person. Like, how could you do something that like that was like the worst thing you could have. I will never forgive that, right? So when I met my husband, it was like magic when we got together. Like the first months, it was like, oh my God, we both felt this like, what is happening? We've never experienced anything so amazing. But then as we know, the ego, the ego kicks in, that part, small part of us, that is the part that gets wounded, broken, and hurt, and all of this stuff. When you're in your soul presence, you're just unconditional love, right? So the ego kicked in for him, and he got terrified of what was happening, and in a very horrible way, broke up with me. Yeah, but not nice, not cool, like just, like really not nice. And about 10 days went by before I could actually get hold of him. Like, like he kind of disappeared. And it was very sudden. It was like, we'd been going along. It was like, oh my God, this great love. And then suddenly he just turned and, did this horrible thing and said, look, I can't handle this. Bye-bye. And I was devastated. I was devastated. I was like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't even understand what was happening. I was like, how can somebody just turn so fast? I mean, we're like, me, like, this is the greatest love we've ever met, to I'm breaking up with you, bye-bye. But that's what happens when the ego kicks in. We get out of our center and we start doing some really weird stuff. So I finally got hold of him and was like, what is happening? And he's like, yeah, I don't love you anymore. I come to this conclusion. And I'm like, where is this coming from? So this is me being in my, what I call like love and deep compassion mode, to just try to understand what could happen to someone. Like, how could they be so into it and then so not into it? Doesn't make sense, right? So I'm trying to understand, like, listen, you need to explain this to me, because right now I do not even understand what you're talking about. Okay. I had a completely different experience of us. I thought we were in this mad love story and it was so juicy and beautiful. And now you're telling me that did I imagine all of that? Or are you freaking out and now you're ruining an opportunity of a lifetime? Like, which is it? Like, but they can't be both things, right? Yes. So did that happen? Did that, like, amazing, beautiful, like, oh my God, did that happen? Because if that happened, that needs to be honored. And what you're doing right now isn't honoring that. And I'm amazed that I could do all of this, because I was, the hurt, that all of that wanted to be there. But I just felt so deeply that I needed to fight for this love because of what we had built as a foundation in those 3 months before this weird thing happened, right? So for me, that was a time where I really chose to be in my bigger self of real unconditional love, and not follow the little ego that wanted to, to not, open myself up, not be vulnerable, not forgive, right? So in that conversation, he said to me, oh my God, I got it. I just got it. Like, you're so right. I've made a huge, huge mistake, and I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can forgive me, but I want to continue, and, thank you for, fighting for this love. And, I mean, the fact that we're 21 years together, and happier than we've ever been. So our relationship has gone through ups, downs, valleys, all kinds of things, but we're closer than we've ever been. We have better communication than we've ever had. We're having better sex than we've ever had. Like, it just gets better and better and better. So, that was a time where I'm glad that I didn't let my ego hijack me, and rather would have let me, run away, as opposed to face, and just be powerful and say, look, I just think something's wrong and I need to understand. I'm happy to say goodbye, but we need to go from a more integral place in this bye-bye, and not all, if this is really true, then let it be true, but let's come together in love and understanding. And if it's right for you to not be with me and me to not be with you, then let that come from a more sincere, loving place and not all of this ugliness that has been created, right? So I think that for me was a big one. And even when we got back together, I remember like processing what had happened for literally months, and I just had to keep coming back to my heart and to forgiveness. Yeah, like to be able to forgive. People make mistakes. Yes. People do stupid stuff. It happens. I do it. I make mistakes. I've done stupid stuff, right? So can we forgive? Can we forgive the people that have done stupid stuff, knowing that that's not who they are? Yeah. No, being able to look and see the beauty in them, even with the ugly that has been shown. That's us. That's me inside. I have this beautiful shine. I've got this amazing aura, but there's also, you know, the ego mind, the hurt child that was beaten as a child. Yeah, I was beaten up as a child. I was sexually abused by my stepfather. All of that, you know, dark side that causes us to act up and do things. And he has his own individual story. In fact, everyone out there in the world has their own individual story of pain and suffering. So can we accept both? Can we love with a love that says, I see your beauty and love, and yes, there's this ugliness. And so when that shows up, that I'll be able to look beyond that and see the real you, which is the soul that wants to be loving all the time, but just can't because we're human.
Yes. That is absolutely gorgeous. And I love that you shared that, because that's such a touching and inspiring story. And it shows that when we stay in our hearts, the self-righteousness, the judgments, they melt away. And we can, as you said, we can see the ugly, but we can love beyond.
Yes.
And that's such a beautiful thing. And I wonder if this also translates to your vision of love for humanity, if we can also see the ugly and love the future and the possibilities of our collective and the essence of our shared humanity beyond the ugly. So maybe you can share your vision of love for humanity with us.
My vision of love and humanity, I'm kind of getting goosebumps here, is really for people to start understanding what we share in common. If we can move beyond cultural, religious, you know, educational belief systems and really understand the human spirit, and how when we are in touch with that spirit, we want to elevate all of those around us. That's what brings us the most joy, is when we bring our energy up in lightness and love and peace and all of that beautiful stuff, but also when we're able to elevate others. But to do that, we would need to overcome our constructions of who we believe we are. Right? So there's very strong constructs. Like I was brought up as a Roman Catholic. My whole family was Roman Catholic. And we had to go to church every Sunday. And we believed that, you know, there's all types of belief systems that for me was very disempowering. So I found myself full of pain. I found myself full of shame, guilt, all kinds of negative emotions that are a result of what I'd been taught as a Roman Catholic, what I'd been taught as a young adult, you know, around my sexuality and all of the things that, you know, make us who we are. So my vision for humanity is that we can start to dismantle some of the let's say the belief systems that you know, yeah, we have this, let's say we're Buddhist, we're Roman Catholic, we're Jewish, we are Hindu, all these different philosophies that don't really allow us to come and celebrate our spirituality together. So, you know, the Mahima mindset and my programs really are to bring people together from all backgrounds, all walks of life, to say, how can we create a spiritual language that we can all agree with? Beautiful. Yeah. How can we talk about essence, talk about connection to something, profound, in a way that's respectful to everybody in the room, so that we're not separated in the most important topic, which is who are we, so that's my future, that's my dream, is that we will have that these conversations will be able to bring people together to experience spirituality in a way that connects us all.
Magical. That's a beautiful vision of love that gave me goosebumps too, Mahima. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your vision with all of us today. And maybe you can share just a bit more about the gift that is linked also next to this video for people who are so inspired and I'm sure want to continue that journey with you.
Thank you so much, Angel. Yes, the gift, it's a 7 days reprogram your mind. So you'll have 7 modules of which I will be speaking to your subconscious mind. These structures that we talked about, these concepts and these ideas that we have about who we are, about who other people are, about who, how we should be living our lives. So in this 7 days of reprogramming, I'm basically going to be speaking like kind of poetry sort of thing, to this music to it, and you can either close your eyes and just listen to it, with closed eyes, or you can maybe multitask if you want, because I want to make it super easy for people. Yeah. So you could be like walking to the bus stop and listening to it. You could be, sitting on the train, going home and listening to it. So I just want to make it super duper easy for you to do it. So it's not like I need to sit down, right? Yeah. That's obviously the best. You're going to get the most out of it. And it's only 15 minutes a day. The whole thing is only 15 minutes a day. Yeah. So, if you can take a pen and paper, sit down, listen, and then just, write down anything that sparks off inside of you. Like, oh, I want to hold that thought. I want to anchor that idea, right? So you just write that down. And then you do the 5-minute meditation, which is literally just I've boiled down the essence of what meditation is into 5 minutes. And then you just sit for those 5 minutes. And when the best is to continue after those 5 minutes. So when I've stopped guiding you, if you could just continue sitting there for as long as you feel like, whether it's another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes, another 2 minutes, doesn't matter. So it just ends. I don't even bring you out of it. It's like I just end with, a sentence that leaves you in it. And so if you want to stay there, you just stay as long as you like. It's reconnecting to your soul and spirit. It's understanding what's going on in this world. That's what I feel was the greatest gift that my teachers gave me, is a deeper understanding of life, how to live life and how to get the most out of life, a deeper understanding of how to engage in life in a way that I can create magic, become a magician, do things that are, for some people, like, how are you doing this? Like, how is this possible, right? I'm doing this because I understand my power to be able to create, right? We have a blank canvas, that's our life, and then you put the colors in, right? So this program is going to help you to start to understand how you can become more of a creator, less of a victim, more of somebody who's surviving and more somebody who's thriving, more of someone who's lighter and more joyful and less of someone who's in pain and agony. So that's what you can get out of this program if you disciplined enough to do it consecutively for 7 days. And then when you've ended it, press repeat and just do it for another, 7 days. And just keep doing it until you have got what you want out of it, which is, I feel so much better. And I've had people email me. One gentleman in particular told me that this program saved his life. Yeah. And he was doing extensive work on himself with therapists, with, years and years of different things that he was trying to do. That's how powerful this program is, right? It can go to the core of the question, who am I?
Yes, I get it.
So,
beautiful. Yeah. Oh, my goodness, Mahima. We could talk for hours. It's been absolutely magical. So I'm going to call you Magic Mahima going forward.
I like that. Magic Mahima. I think I'll keep that one. Thank you so much, Ellen. It's been such a joy to be here with you. As I said, I love what you're doing. I love what you're about. I'm excited to, to be able to contribute to your tribe and your community. And yeah, I'm looking forward to keep watching the space, which is your amazing space that you're creating in the world, and just keep witnessing you growing and doing all these beautiful things. I just love it. I just love it.
Thank you so much. From my heart to yours. Thank you for the magic and the love today. It was a joy and an honor to have you.
Thank you, sweetheart. And thanks to everyone for listening. Love you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. And you can, okay, I wanted to say one last thing,
No,
but it's
no,
okay.
Go ahead.
If anyone loves what this is all about, you can join my YouTube channel as well. So that might be something that is interesting for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Ciao, guys. Ciao.